Hello and welcome to Pizzabento. I'm one of your hosts, Nikki from Seattle, Washington.
And I'm Danson from Tokyo, Japan.
Yesterday I had the pleasure of sitting down and watching two war movies, one of which I haven't finished, so I'm only going to talk about that to that point, a movie. But the first movie I watched was Waltzing with Bashir. Have you seen that?
No, haven't even heard of it. Is it World War II, Vietnam? What is it?
Well, this is interesting because it's about the Israeli/Palestinian. They're referring to a massacre. Oh man, I don't remember the details. I'm so sorry.
Dude, you're the one that wanted to talk about this.
No, I know, and I know it if I see it, but I don't have the notes because I'm lame like that. But basically, it's a documentary and semi-fictional account, and the interesting thing about it is it's done in a kind of Adobe Flash animation.
I have heard of it. You mean rasterized, man. But
I'm sorry?
Rasterized is what you mean, but yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Sort of, because
like,
you know,
like that movie, was that Waking Dreams or whatever?
Waking Life?
Waking Life, yeah, it looks like that.
Yeah, Waking Life, but the only difference is that Waking Life was shot on digital, and then they painted over the negatives. This is, from what I've heard, or from what I've read, is that they animated in Adobe, and then they cut up the picture into different things, and then move the individual parts to create the illusion of a moving picture.
Okay.
So there's a little bit of CG involved, but mostly it's it's visually it's very stunning, and it's told kind of in a documentary feel whereby there's talking heads and stuff, but it's all animated. But then they kind of show you some fictional stuff too. A lot of the people in it play themselves, or what do you call
it? Narrate themselves?
No, not narrate themselves. They play composites of other people.
Oh, okay.
So I would recommend it. It was last year. I think they won a bunch of awards. So.
No, I heard of it. I trailer surfed it on Apple.
Okay.
I trailer surf a lot.
So what happened is this guy is Israeli, and he's trying to recollect all the experiences leading up to the massacre, but he's kind of blocked it in his mind, so he's going around interviewing people and piecing the story together. That's about all I have to say about it.
Wow, you picked a good topic.
Yeah, and then the other movie I wanted to bring up was Defiance, which has Mr. James Bond in it, which proves that he's not just limited to just being James Bond, because he shows a little bit more range than his usual Bond movies. But I've always been, an okay Daniel Craig fan. I don't really pigeonhole him that much.
Isn't Bond just a one-man war movie anyways?
Yeah, but he's not a one-man war movie. He plays a Russian Jew. Along with Liv Schreiber. I don't know what his name is. So they're brothers, and I think they were farmers or something. So they started, by chance getting a group of other refugees, and they kind of built this
I've heard of that. They're just releasing that here.
Okay. So far it's really good. I think it's done by Mark Zwick. He's a big-time war movie guy. He did The Last Samurai.
Oh, yeah.
So he's into the whole... I think he's interested in warfare as a whole.
You mentioned it. I have to say, The Last Samurai had a horrible ending. I'm just saying.
Oh, yeah, I guess. So what's your problem with The Last Samurai ending?
Like, all the Japanese people died.
Yeah, that bit is a bit of convenience.
Yeah, and then, like, the white dude's like, yeah, you can't kill me!
My hair's awesome. You can't kill a person with awesome hair.
Yeah, I'm a member of the Scientology group.
I'm in love with Katie. I've got to go home to her.
Yeah, and that was just too sweet for a perfect ending, and it just was kind of weird, and I didn't like that ending. I thought it would have been more dramatic if, like, he wasn't the one that survived.
Yeah, but Ken Watanabe, is that right?
Ken Watanabe.
Watanabe, sorry. My apologies. He's an excellent actor.
Yeah, like, I thought that he did what I call, like, what would you call that? Like, what do I call it? Where you act with your, like, face, not your, like, words. Like, he did a lot of, like eye gestures.
Non-verbal acting?
Yeah, like, you could see, like, his pupils even changing conveyed messages, and like it was really intense, man. Yeah, I thought he did an excellent performance in it.
No, that dude had leukemia or something.
Really, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, he got better from that. Of all places I learned it, I think I learned an American Express ad.
What's a weird place to learn things about Mr. Ken?
Well, it just talks about the American Express ads for a while had kind of like a whole Playboy type thing where it's like hometown, and then you write down your name and favorite hobby, and then
favorite hobby, surviving leukemia.
I think that was his favorite color.
What? Are you serious?
No.
Ooh.
So I don't know. When I watch war movies, I can't help it. I walk away with being a little depressed, but also being very wary of the whole concept of war.
I think war is so old-fashioned, dude.
But we still keep having it. We keep thinking it's a feasible, not a feasible, a tangible way of getting results.
Yeah, but who was the last person that instigated war? He's like Mr. Brain Dead Bush, so I don't know. Maybe Obama will do war too. I don't know, but like.
Well, he's not exactly pulling out troops fast enough, so you know.
No, but he is actually kind of pulling them out, sort of. But
he's slowly doing it.
Then moving them all over to Afghanistan, so it's kind of a shuffle game. So yeah, war, man. Like humans just they just keep just doing it. Like it's kind of like the death penalty. Like some states in America still do that. So.
And I definitely think war movies has its place, though. I think it's a way of demystifying the concept of war, because the whole kind of rousing of patriotism to get people to go to war, they leave out a lot of parts.
Right, like the dying part.
Well, not so much the dying part, but the kind of dehumanizing evolution of your brain, where you stop thinking of people as people, but more as targets, as people as kill shots, or
Right. Yeah. And how many can you get and that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, it's really quite sad actually. Like, yeah, and in the modern war movie, you see that. I've seen classic war movies too, and it's more like the hero and the dehumanized enemy, just like propaganda or whatever.
What's interesting was after I watched Waltzing with Bashir, it had a little bit of. I don't want to tell you the ending, but they had a little bit of the visuals that showed people dying and stuff. And then I went to Wikipedia to look, and then I found more images, and some of that is just really graphic. There's like, people don't die with like a little red spot and just their parts are blown up. You see insides, right?
Yeah.
And I think to a certain extent, then I watched Defiance, which was more of a traditional Hollywood
Wikipedia
movie.
has pictures of people dying?
Related to that massacre.
Wow, gruesome.
Yeah, so I went on Google and I searched more images because I'm kind of curious about that thing. And then you start to realize war isn't like they show in Defiance where you shoot someone and then they die. It's usually a lot worse. It's a lot more graphic. There's a lot more gore. And I think it's important to show that because then you start to realize, wait, this isn't.
But war has like gore and rape and all sorts of nasty shit.
It's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And so. What do you think? Do you think war movies should be true to form, or should they just be like a fictional, watered-down version of how bad it is? More lyrical.
I think it depends on the purpose of the movie. Every movie serves its purpose. I have nothing against a movie that's completely realistic, but I have nothing against a movie that wants to make it more ballady, like fakey. Like it's all serves its purpose. Like that new Brad Pitt movie, like Glorious Bastards, or whatever.
Yeah, that's probably just for the sake of gore.
Right, it's for the sake of gore, and it's not meant to be realistic, I don't believe. Like, it's meant just to be like
look, we're killing Nazis. Look at us having fun.
Or as he says, Nazis.
Nazis.
Yeah, so like, I mean, that movie's not meant to be realistic, and to want it to be realistic is stupid, because that's not the purpose of the movie. And so, like, I think you gotta let each movie do its thing. But I have nothing against a movie that wants to be super realistic, because war is hell.
Yeah, definitely in the first 10 minutes of Saving Private Ryan, you don't want to go to war ever again.
Yeah, man.
Seeing that and just like, oh, yeah, it's not glorious.
I heard that it only got an R rating because of Tom Cruise was... not Tom Cruise.
Tom Hanks?
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks was in it, that's why they gave it an R, but gore ratio, they should have given it a higher rating.
Anyway, that's the end of our show.